Hi, y'all, and welcome to our 5-minute virus-free Friday. A little bit of inspiration to take you into your weekend that I promise won't involve the 5-syllable word that begins with corona and ends with virus. Not happening. Today, I was inspired by a YouTube I've been watching this week over my coffee in the morning, which was a virtual hike through the Redwood forest of California. And I don't know if you've ever been out there, but those trees are magnificent. So I thought about what those trees might teach us and what scriptures might be useful to us. And so I've come up with 3 lessons from a redwood based on Corinthians 13:7, which, as you know, says love bears all things, love believes all things, love hopes all things, and love endures all things. So let me share these 3 lessons with you. Lesson number 1, bear each other up. I mean, what a great lesson for us right now in the middle of this pandemic, the strength of community. If you've ever seen one of those redwood trees, you know that they are some of the tallest living things on earth. They can grow up to 400 feet high, which is like a 35-story-foot building. But here's the thing. They don't grow to those heights by sinking their roots down into the earth. They do it by sending their roots out sideways and grabbing on to the other roots and the other trees in the forest. It's this incredible, powerful image of community. Those trees stay and grow to those heights by bearing each other up. It's a lesson for us to remember now in the strength of holding each other and caring for each other and allowing us to draw strength from one another. So lesson number 2, believe and hope all things. If you've ever walked through one of those forests, you know those huge, mature trees have a great canopy that kind of forms this kind of dark, medieval-looking forest. And then you've got the little seedlings on the bottom that are growing out of the moss and some of them out of the old roots and the fallen trees. And those little green shoots are so scrappy. They're just growing up, straining, looking for the light. I think that's maybe what 1 Corinthians meant when it said love believes all things and hopes all things. Love looks for the good. Like those little seedlings, it strains to find the best, the sunlight in others. Of course, there's a trick. In order to find the goodness and the sunlight in others, we have to see it in ourselves. And a lot of times we don't see anything but the bad, the negative, the things that are wrong. Perhaps we forget that we're made in the image of the divine, that at our core we are holy and lovable as we are. So when we remember that, then we can see it in others. And like those little redwoods, we can strive, we can strain, we can see the light and the goodness in others and in ourselves. Now, the 3rd lesson is about endurance. Endure with an eye toward the long view. Now, we talked about those trees being some of the tallest living creatures, but they're also some of the oldest, dating back to some of them 2,000 years old. Now, if you think about that, that means some of these trees have lived through everything from the Roman Empire to Lady Gaga. That's a long time. And it makes you wonder, how would our lives be different with a long view like that? I mean, if we took our to-do list to a redwood and said, what do you think about all these really scary, terrible things? I'm sure the tree would be like, you got to be kidding me. That's nothing. I mean, we do get caught up in the micro of the world, all the worries about the email list and the to-do list and the tweets and the phone ringing. Really, if these things seem important now, if we look at them with an eye towards the long view, what will this mean in 5 years, 5 days, 5 minutes, really? All of a sudden they start to fade. And in the long view, things like family and community and health and joy and compassion become the clear priorities. Do we bear each other up? Do we believe and hope in all things? Do we take the long view? Our lives might take a very different turn if we would simply orient our path towards the ways of a redwood. Now, if you have a little extra time today, go on YouTube and search Redwoods. Take a little virtual walk in the forest and you'll see what I'm talking about. Just get a visual of the idea of bearing each other up. Get a visual of the straining for the light, the goodness. Get a visual of how they have an eye to the long view with their majestic age and maturity. I hope that you have a blessed week, and I look forward for us getting together next Friday around noon for our next 5-minute Virus-Free Fridays. Take good care.